So just following on from the last video, jig is now in place. As I mentioned last time, this is going to give the car some support whilst we're doing some cutting and welding. I managed to make this inner section out of 40mm box section, 3mm thickness. It's all been cut and shaped and installed. As you can see, the jigs now give us the correct position for this bolt hole. We have put the sleeve inside there, so that'll be nice and strong, it won't crush when the cross member's tightened up. We've done a bit more scraping on the inner wings, got some of this old under seal off. We can actually start to see what we're dealing with now. Lots of old repairs on this car. Previously had wheel arch repairs, which is now rotten again. So we'll continue to strip this as we work our way back. This all still needs to come off, but I think it's fairly solid under there, fingers crossed. So the plan for today, hopefully, is to get these splashbacks out, get all this lot cut out, start to work out how much of the floor needs to come out, get this new splashback fitted, and then work my way into the floors. Once I've got the floor laid in, I can start to put the outer covers on, the chassis rails. So once we've got these covers on, we'll then start to tie it all into the floor, and then start to look at these A-post closing panels and into the A-post outer covers. So I'm going to make some progress, and I'll be back in a bit. So another quick update on the i200 restoration project. I've had another afternoon on it today. Lots and lots more rust has been cut out of the car. As you can see, a pile of rust has grown. That's what the inside of the chassis legs look like, even though they look okay from the outside. As I said on one of the previous videos, they do rot from the inside out. So it's always best to just take them off and replace them if you're doing a restoration, because it will bite you in the ass in the not so distant future if you don't do that. Splashbacks are now in, floor section is in, A-post closing panel is in. These are quite difficult to fit, not very easy at all. The quality of the panels off Dave are brilliant, really happy with those. A-post closing panels and those kick panels off Dave Deacon. If anybody's after them or restoring a car, I suggest you get yourself some of these now, because they may not obviously be in stock forever. The floor pans is a different story, they're not very good quality at all. Full of slots, instead of being pressed they just cut them to fold them into shape. Lots and lots of work required to get these to fit half decent. The inner chassis rail is now fabricated up. I just make these up myself out of 40mm box section, 3mm thickness. I do install a sleeve in there, as I mentioned in a previous video. That is just resting in position at the moment. I'm going to be taking this back off shortly and just getting some primer on these bits of bare steel, just in case it gets a bit damp in here tonight. It is going to be quite a cold night. So I'll show you some of the panels that we've got for the car. This is the box that arrived off Dave today. Both closing panels, battery tray, splashbacks. Really good stuff. And then over here we have the rear arches. These are actually available on eBay. These are clocker home panels. These are the outer chassis legs and swan neck covers. These are from TJ Motorsport. The sill, or sills should I say, I've had them in stock for a while. I've got piles and piles of sills, so I'm just going to use these up. And the next step on this car will be to get these gaps filled in. Fortunately, the rust has gone past where these panels fit to and finish, so I'm going to have to fabricate up some bits of plates in here, get all this finished off tomorrow. Then I'll move up into the sill, get this sill off. Once the sill's off, I can then get my jacking point in. Because again, as I mentioned on a previous video, jacking point sits here, but it's got to be welded to the inner chassis rail and then the inner A-post. The sill cover can go over that. Then we'll get the chassis rail covers on, swan neck covers on, and then start to move down this side. Obviously get the inside of the sill repaired, and then into the rear arches, and work my way around to the other side of the car and do it all again on the other side. I'm just going to get some primer on these bits now. I'll be back in a minute. Right, so we've got a bit of primer on there now. Don't have to worry about that flash rusting over the next couple of days. So I have had people ask me if that is the finished product, as in the finished chassis rail. The answer is no, that's just an inner. That's the inner support, that's where all your strength is. And these go over the top. So this is what finishes. Job off. These will be pushed right down. And the way I install these is we'll use the hole cutting tool, pop a load of holes along here, both sides, same again on the top and these flanges here, and that'll be spot welded in place. We also spot weld the outer skin to the inner skin, so it's got extra strength again. So we'll pop a load of holes just in here, couple down the sides, squeeze this in with some pliers, get it nice and tight, nice and solid, nice and strong. These are the swan neck covers. Now the problem you get with these is that they don't come handy. So you end up with a pair of passenger side, which isn't the best, because obviously this shape here is what should fit up into this gap, but you end up with this section for both sides, so you have got to do a bit of messing about with those. See if I can squeeze this in with the jig on. Basically, that's how they sit. These again do need modifying. This needs to go further up, yet the jig's in the way. The jig will have to come off for this part of the job. Once you've put these together, you do have to cut these down a bit to butt these up. It doesn't look very nice if you just overlap them and weld them. So that's the way I do it. And again, with these, we'll spot weld these, drill some holes, and spot weld the outer skin to the inner skin, so it's nice and strong. This will finish short of where I've cut out, so we're going to have to fabricate a piece between these two to suit, but it will all get done in time. So that's it for tonight. I've had enough for today, and I will update with another video hopefully in the next couple of days.